Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes you better. And hey guys, welcome to Weight Loss Wednesdays. Always having a hard time to pronounce this word for some reason. Today we are talking weight loss, as you might have guessed. And I want to bring you a little bit inside of my coaching strategy. Now, based on all of the research, data, and knowledge on my constant and never-ending reading and work and answering questions and working with people, what is the strategy that I found works long-term the best? I'm not saying it's the fastest way for most people. I'm not saying it's not some crash diet. I don't do crash diets. I don't do super fast weight loss programs that compromise someone's health and well-being, unless it is a professional athlete or fitness model, bodybuilding, getting ready for a photo shoot or a competition. That's a little bit different, because there you do have to compromise your health a little bit to hit the exact numbers at the exact date. But when I work with normal people, like most of you are guys who are interested in not just looking and feeling better on a regular basis, but also creating conditions for happiness, for joy, for longevity, and again for a long-term maintenance. We normal people, we don't want to yo-yo from feeling great and looking amazing to feeling like shit and looking like that too. So when it comes to long-term, sustainable, maintainable changes to the way we look and the way we feel to our health and fitness, here's the strategy that I implement to work with people. First and foremost, I always figure out what drives you, what drives that person, what drives my client, what is their priority for right now. Those priorities might change, but for right now, what is the most pain? What gives you the most pain? Maybe you constantly you don't feel like you have energy, and that's why you don't feel like doing more to maintain a healthier diet or some fitness, some exercise program. So what is your pain? What drives you? First and foremost, sometimes it's some health issue. It might be some metabolic health issue. It might be some autoimmune condition. It might be something else. It might be a lot of inflammation, or your cholesterol might be really out of balance. And of course, weight loss, fat loss, that's another thing that a lot of people are working on. And so first and foremost, I figure out what drives you. And then the second thing I do as much as possible to be a detective and figure out what do you do now? What is it you're doing that brings those results that you don't really like? What are you eating? How are you sleeping? What is your stress level? What are some family or business career issues? What's in your life that brings the result that you want to correct? And once I figure out all of this, and it's constant exploration, it's constant communication. It's hard to figure out a person in one day, in a week, or even in a month. So I'm always trying to learn more about each and every client. And then in the middle of all of that, of exploring and figuring things out, and figuring out what's important to you and what kind of coaching and health and nutrition and fitness tools I can bring to the table, the ones that, based on all of my experience and research, can help you the most. Besides all of that, I make sure that we start working on these areas of your life. Diet, nutrition, yes, but my first concern, even if your goal is weight loss, is Are you eating a healthy, a balanced diet? And that means, are you getting all the nutrients from foods that actually work for your body, for your metabolism, that you probably already know from your experience? So are you eating your vitamins, your essential minerals, your essential fatty and amino acids? Is your nutritional plan balanced? And if not, how, based on your situation, where you are, I have clients all over the world, like what food is available, what food you're used to eating, what food you ate as a kid, like what genetics you have, like where are you from, right? So based on all of that, I help you to step by step figure out what nutrition plan can work for you to supply you all the essential in the best possible way. But then also we start working on your sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting good quality of sleep? Are you sleeping on the same schedule? Like, how's your sleep? Then we talked about stress management. These days I like to call it joy management. Like, how do you really feel on a daily basis? Do you feel like your life is a joyful experience most of the time? Or do you feel like it's a drag? Like you wake up and you're like, oh my God, another day, I have to put up with that. Like, how are you feeling on a regular basis? Do you experience joy every single day? Do you love your life? And if not, then what can we do to bring it closer to that feeling? Maybe we can introduce some meditation, some breathing exercise. Maybe we can drop some stuff that you don't really need in your life. Maybe we should drop some people that you don't enjoy in your life. We work on all of that. And then, of course, we work on exercise, on movement practice. Like, are you moving? Are you working on your mobility? Do you do some walking, some cardio, some weight training, some recovery training, maybe some yoga, some stretching, flexibility, mobility training? All of that, I like to call it movement nutrition. You need a variety of different movement practices in order to have balance in your body, and a balanced body is a healthy body. So we work on that too. And then when needed, we do the testing. I guide you through the tests that you might need, like maybe your blood glucose, your insulin levels, your cholesterol levels, your inflammation levels, maybe your intolerances based on your gut microbiome or your genetics. I walk you through all of this too, when and if that applies. For most people, to solve your problem, you don't even need to go that deep into details. You align the sleep, the nutrient balance, the stress, joy management, and exercise, and a lot of things just fall back into where they're supposed to be. And working on all of these areas, if fat loss, if weight loss is a goal, I make sure that we start reducing the amount of energy that you are getting from your food. Now, it doesn't matter what diet you choose to be on. You can choose to be on a keto diet, you can choose to be on a paleo diet, you can choose to be on a plant-based diet. Like, no matter what the diet is, as soon as we start aligning all the foundational elements of your health, your sleep, your nutritional status, your stress management, your exercise routine. So once we align all of this, I start reducing the amount of energy. And usually the best way to do it is to reduce non-essential carbs or fats, because those are the things that your body uses for energy. Protein, not so much. You should kind of like be at the same level with your protein that reflects your lifestyle. Like if you're a professional athlete, of course you will need more protein, and especially if you're a guy, if you're a tall guy, right? Or maybe you are still growing, maybe you're like in your late teens. Sometimes I get requests from parents too to work with their kids. So depending on where you are, your protein requirements might vary a lot, but then they kind of stable. Proteins is not something you want to decrease or increase to equalize your energy needs. So you either lose weight or sometimes you need to build muscle and gain weight. So fats or carbohydrates, reducing those from non-essential sources, the sources that we are not using to get our essential nutrients. I make sure that either measuring portions in some way, or measuring food on scales. We figure out a way how to measure food and how to reduce it when needed to keep your weight loss going. And then also, as a coach, I make sure that we measure the progress. If body fat is important to you, then we gotta measure it, right? And we gotta measure it consistently. And then as a coach, I make sure that we cycle through periods of that dieting or energy and nutrient deprivation slide. I prefer always slide because that's the best way to make sure that it never stops and your body doesn't plateau and you don't run into health problems. So we cycle through the periods of energy deprivation, and then we go out of that to break through plateaus, to prevent plateaus, and to prevent possible negative health consequences because of deprivation, but also to prevent possible metabolic slowdown, possible hormonal imbalances when your thyroid hormone gets out of balance. What you want to do, what I want to do is, again, to help you to get to your goal as efficiently, as effectively, as fast as possible without compromising your health. And that requires monitoring, tracking, balancing things. You cannot be in ketosis all the time. You got to get out of that based on all the research. Not often, but sometimes. The same goes, when we cut down some nutrients. Again, we're gonna cut down stuff for a while, but then for a day, for a couple of days, depending on the situation, we're gonna get into surplus of nutrients to prevent the plateaus and possible deficiencies and possible negative health effects. And that's how I work as a coach. But not at any point I don't forget the main objective is to keep you healthy, happy, and full of energy and thriving and moving into positive direction. So things shouldn't get worse health-wise. Things should get better. So if you are losing weight and you consistently feeling like shit, like this is not the way to lose weight and maintain healthy weight. That means you're doing something wrong. Like for example, people trying to use vegan or vegetarian or plant-based diet as a tool to lose weight often forget that with animal products, a lot of times they would eliminate a lot of essential vitamins. Like for example, B vitamins. A lot of them are concentrated in much more, and sometimes solely in animal foods, much more than in plant foods. And some of those B vitamins, they are important for energy production cycles. And what it means is when you don't get them, you're gonna feel like you have energy, like you have no energy, no drive to do anything. And it doesn't matter how many calories, how many carbohydrates, how many fats you eat. If you don't get those B vitamins, then you're not gonna produce the amount of energy because your body will not have the tools to make energy production happen. And that's why it's essential to look at your nutritional balance. For example, are you getting all the vitamins and minerals that we know human body needs to produce energy or to build certain cellular structures or certain hormones? And so if you're someone who's trying to use vegan and vegetarian diet and you feel like shit, well, it's actually understandable because you should feel like that because you're not getting essential vitamins that your body uses to produce energy. And so one of the solutions might be, if you're really committing for some reason to be vegan or vegetarian and not eat animal products, one of the solutions might be getting a good supplement. It's not ideal, but it helps, and you're gonna feel much, much better on that vegan or vegetarian diet when you supplement properly, if you're not eating all your nutrients from the foods. And most vegans and vegetarians, they think, oh, I just stop eating all the animal products and that's gonna be my perfect diet. And after a week or two, I feel like shit, so it must not be working. Well, the actual reason why you feel like shit has nothing to do with specific animal product or a vegan diet. It actually has to do of not getting essential nutrients for your body. So when approaching weight loss, you need to look at those long-term factors that will define the success, long-term success and maintenance of your weight loss and of your weight maintenance. So again, those are sleep, nutrition, balance. So you basically getting all of your nutrients, essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in the right proportion. Your stress management, your exercise and recovery practice. So those 4 things, I always work on them with my clients. And then for weight loss, fat loss purposes, I look into energy balance. And no matter what kind of theory or idea I have about a person's weight loss, fat loss, if they're not losing there and we are addressing all of the factors and their health is improving, then you are eating too much. If you're not losing weight and fat, somehow your body learns how to figure out to get all the energy it needs. As simple as that. Taking into account that we are taking care of all the health foundations. Because if you're overly stressed, if you're underslept, if you don't do proper exercise practice, all of these factors, they might stop your weight loss and fat loss for different reasons. A lot of them we might not ever figure out how they interact with each other. But for long-term weight loss and weight maintenance, you again need to work on all of them. Sleep, your nutrition balance, nutrient balance, your stress management, your exercise, your movement practice and recovery is there too. And then after that, we look with my clients at energy balance and how we can reduce the amount so it's as painless as possible and doesn't decrease the quality of life, but increases health and allows my people, my clients, a lot of them are my friends, allow them to see the progress that they want to see. And believe me, guys, it's not about negative body image or the idea that you have to look or weigh a certain weight. Like, as long as your body healthy, I think you should decide what weight you want to be in, how much body fat you have, of course, in healthy frame. Do you want to have six-pack or you don't care about six-pack? It's all up to you. As long as you are healthy and you actually have the proofs based on all of our research, all of our knowledge that you are indeed healthy, and also as long as you're feeling amazing. But besides that, guys, I totally feel you, I understand you, that you might want to look a certain way in order for you to feel your best self, your most confident self. That's why I'm working on myself constantly, because that's when I feel like my absolutely most awesome and amazing self that can go out there and crush any goal. So looks have something to do with that for me personally, but it also goes back to the way I feel. And all of that kind of goes back to making me more of me, and my body image is a part of it, and I'm at peace with that, and I understand that. To what degree it is and what body image you have for yourself, what ideal body image, have some common sense, accept your human condition, but at the end of the day, you have the ability and freedom to decide how you want to look and feel. And that's what I help you and my clients to do, to look and feel the way that helps you to express your best self. That's it for today, guys. To recap, practical information from this episode. If you want to build your best body, the body that you're totally stoked about, the body that feels and looks amazing. If you want to maintain long term, not just for a week, for a party or for a beach season, then you gotta make sure, besides the energy balance, that you are looking into sleep quality, nutrient balance, getting your essential vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids from the best possible form for you, stress or joy management, and your exercise recovery practice. So exercise recovery, it's one and the same. The more exercise you do, the more probably you have to recover. So look at those 4 if you are struggling with maintaining your ideal body weight, and you'll find your answer somewhere there. And if you need any help figuring out where is your answer, then I'm here to help you. But besides all of that, don't forget, guys, you'll do me such a huge favor if you share this episode with someone who it can help, who might be struggling with weight loss and fat loss. Just share this episode, and so they maybe will look at some of those areas: their sleep, their stress management, their nutrition balance, their exercise recovery practice. Maybe that will stop them from running all the time, and maybe instead sleeping a little bit more. That might be the issue for some people, and that all it will take to help them to maintain the ideal body and health that they want. So share this episode, please, with one person who you think it will really help. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.